Anyway, we're live.
Like we're going live. We're going live, bro. We're still early as well, by like a few minutes. So I think that's a pretty cool, to be honest. So going live, Relentless Gaming versus Test Your Limits, and that's gonna be the question: are Relentless Gaming gonna have to test their limits? Are they gonna have to go a bit less than that 6-0 they previously did on their last game? And it's actually quite a good sort of trade out there, and that is going to find a kill.
And it is just going to be Relentless sort of coming into this round extremely strong. 3 versus 2. And TyL are on the site. They are trying to get what they can do done, but it's not going to be great to start things off. We see Helmer dropped, and unfortunately, that's going to be the round over, essentially. Test Your Limits unable to do too much there. A-site snatched from them, and Relentless living up to their name. Just straight through. Found that site, didn't give anything up, and as you said, a little bit cheesily, they are going to be testing Test Your Limits right from the beginning.
Are they going to give up any rounds? I don't know. I mean, that was a pretty good entry. I mean, Flash is going to help the team in as well, so it's good to see sort of making full use of that. As you'd so much sort of respect at this sort of level. And we are going to see a full CT hold on B side, so they're going to have to go for a full retake onto A, and they're really not in the position to sort of do this. They don't have anyone over towards Ivy who's going to help from that angle, so they're going to have to try and get someone like Geo potentially down to Pop Dog, but it's going to be a very close call to sort of situation where none of the sort of Relentless Gaming guys are actually over near it. So trying to shoot them down with pistols at long distance would be hard, so they are trying to go for the save, which, to be honest, what else would they do in that situation apart from just running blindly and try and run and gun them?
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I was hoping that they were going to go for. Once you have got this full sort of pistol armor set up on your side, especially on the CT side where economy is going to be a lot more of a factor throughout the early stages of the game. If you stack a site 5-man, which they did decide to do, then they go the other side, you leave it. You leave it till the next round. You try and implement a similar strategy, and obviously at that point you can go for it because you know you're going to be getting money into the next round, but having these 5.7s, P250s, CZs, whatever they are, plus armor and nades, is going to be almost invaluable to these guys this time, and I'm actually interested to see how they're going to be organizing this one and if it's going to be any different at all. At the moment, it does look like it's going to be mostly the same with a heavy presence towards that B site, but one man in the form of Ranger seeing what he can do towards the A site. Doing a little bit of damage, but not going to be able to find anything in the end, and that is going to mean a 4-man push towards that site. This is never going to be fun, especially if all of them flood through connector.
No, I mean, SKYLLA does actually get taken out there, so they do find one kill. Question is, can they find some more? And only one player away from that connected bit situation. They really need to get his kills. And luckily, they do have a little bit of utility. Headshot going out from Unpre, and he was the first player to get killed beforehand anyway. And unfortunately, Geo not being able to get that sort of backstab there. As we are going to see a bit of a retreat come out here. They're potentially going for exit frags, I'd imagine. They're trying to pick up any guns if they rush them. Yeah, I mean, did the T's drop any AKs here? So they need to pick them up, or are they safe to just go for it?
I'm assuming there's something on the site because they are holding it extremely, not maybe aggressively, but vigilantly. They didn't really want to give anything up there whatsoever. And TyL, well, they're happy taking what they have through to the next round, aren't they? They still have the head armor on these 2 players. They might not have anything more valuable than that, but it does give them a little bit of leeway with what they can buy. I mean, you can see already, Unpre is going to be able to get up an AWP with full armor. And does, and aside from that, it's just going to be nades. M4 is exactly what you'd expect to be seeing, just with that little bit more, obviously down to the save. So it is going to be a potentially better buy than we're expecting to see out of Test Your Limits. Relentless not looking so strong. I was going to point out the UMP, but the AWP dropping early on is also going to be a huge factor in this round. That is a very painful way to start things off, and it might just be TyL coming straight back through to find this first gun round and to start things off for themselves in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good sort of start of the round for them. Was Test Your Limits, and it really does seem like they will be testing their limits. Let's go. We're going to see them trying to sort of push into B here. I mean, the bomb's over there. Looks like they're setting up their flashes and the smokes, although they might be sort of tempted to fall back here. It depends on what information they can fish out here via the player in Pop Dog. I mean, Rain here. I mean, they're not really watching Team Main much. I mean, they have one player who's trying to hold Pop Dog and Team Main at the same time. I mean, luckily it switched over. Rain has sort of realized this might be a bit of a mistake. Unfortunately, I mean, the bomb is going towards Pop Dog there. A little bit of fate coming into B. And unfortunately, Marcos does lose his health without being able to take anyone out. I mean, it's now going to be down to these teams to try and find their skills, and they do find out to Umpre taking out the AWP. That grenade is going to finish him off.
Yeah, Trey comes right back through him. Rain continues with that ult, finds the second of the round. Unfortunately, not going to be doing too much more, as we do see Kaputika seeing what can be done to find some sort of presence on the site, and it's just not going to be possible. They do manage to find themselves a couple of frags there, but again, not the strongest round, not exactly what you'd be expecting, considering quite what they had. And again, they're not going to be coming into this, I think, with what's expected, as their money's already dwindling, and I do mean in terms of economy. Obviously, guns this round, they are going to be having the AKs, they are going to be having the AWP, they're going to have everything they want, but into the next round, that's where we're going to see cracks start to show. You've already got one player on 200, one player on 900, a couple more in the sort of 1,000 to 1,500 range. It's definitely looking like this could be TyL if they can push through this round, finding themselves an early lead and something to run with, to just put something on the board. And Helm is going to be starting it off exactly how TyL want to.
Yeah, it's a really interesting smoke. I've not really seen that used too often. I mean, obviously, after you used it once, it's going to be difficult to use it again, but he's really gained an advantage, especially as the only main at CT there. I mean, he is backed up by a fellow sort of CT there, by Geo in connector, but he is just sort of switching in and out, trying to sort of control as much as possible. Marcus is going to be going for the smoke. I think that was for connector, which is actually going to do quite a lot of defensive sort of placement for his team. I mean, Helmer here is just trying and cover as many angles as possible. Could be very dangerous if someone happens to pop their head out and take him out. And I mean, with Caputica here as well, coming from Pop Dog, if they come out at the right time, this could end up very badly. I mean, Rain's going to be perfect position to counter the push out. Takes out Caputica as well, spotting the play on top of Train. And unfortunately, not going to be able to get him, and he is going to get killed. Or two numbers there. And Kayla as well. Taking out two players, that is really crucial there, and taking out the AWP player as well. And Rain. Helmer dropping as the last player as well.
That's a little bit of a change in tides, a little bit of a shift in momentum. I was thinking TyL might be able to pick that round up as well and start something off for themselves. Maybe start a little bit of a run, but they're completely shut down there in the 5th round. Relentless just dominating, pushing them back onto these pistols and really starting something that could lead to a whole lot of success. Obviously, they had that bank off the first few rounds. If they can establish that again before they lose one, then we might see the exact same situation playing out. And if TyL if they can't find some sort of consistency, obviously as the game progresses, at the moment we don't have a whole lot of data on that, then this could be a huge problem. But this round at least should be another one on the board for Relentless. This one should be them showcasing what sort of consistency they have, as they're going to be starting it off well and pushing through even better. Driveri managing to pick one up with that MAC-10. Obviously finding a little bit more money, but also finding exactly the sort of presence that they want to be having, and they're only up against pistols, so we should just see that continue here, and indeed we will. Helmer finds one, but it's going to be the only one so far for Test Your Limits, and Geo just has to run away. 17 HP, a Deagle on armor, nothing he can do about this round at this point. Just maybe wait for an exit, maybe save that armor. Not a whole lot of anything. Very unfortunate for them.
Yes, I mean, their economy going into the next round, they're going to be able to force buy, but their economy was reset, and like you said, not very much you can do with that Deagle. Just try and go for that except for frags. I mean, 17 HP, that is not something you'd want to dream of. You'd have to pull off some very godly, happy moment there to be able to make much use of that. And I mean, against 3 AKs and AWP and a bunch of utility, 100% not worth going for that. The economical damage just doesn't add up in the end. Might as well just take that armor through.
I mean, unless he could find the AWP, it would just, again, as you said, be completely pointless, and he realizes that. Holds on to it, and is going to be making it through to the next round. So again, it's something in terms of economy. They seem good at this. They seem good at finding themselves some little edges they go into the buys, and you can already see Geo, he has a little bit more money than his teammates might be able to in terms of, or might be able to spend in terms of getting the utilities up, and it does mean that we're going to be seeing at least one fuse kit coming out on the Test Your Limits side, and things like that, they might seem insignificant. Saving with a Deagle armor might seem insignificant at the time, but say it does come down to a plant, and if Relentless head towards B with any sort of force, it might well come down to a plant. Then that could be the difference maker at that point. That could be something that gives TyL the little bit of a chance into the round that they're going to be looking for, and well, they're going to need every little bit of help they can get at the moment. They started off with a relatively weak buy anyway, lacking in utility. Obviously the FAMAS on Helmer And they've just lost Umpre as well, so it's going to be a 5 versus 4 situation, and you can almost assume at this point a plant's going to be coming down. Relentless, they're not going to be doing it quickly. They don't really feel any pressure in terms of time. They're just waiting around, seeing what they can find, seeing what they can do in their default, and then they're going to fold. And it does look like that's going to be towards the A site this time, so we might see Rain in a perfect position to cause some damage, especially if he keeps looking at Pot Dog.
Yeah, so we are going to see the utility Rain in. It's going to be interesting seeing 3 players coming out of Pop Dog here. First kill comes out from Dryberry there onto Rain. Coming out on the second one onto number 8 as well, as his colleague is fallen. Joe is dead, and Helmo for the Famous is taken out by Caputico as well. And that's all their players taken out very swiftly, and they got no kills on their side. I don't know if they actually did any damage to Relentless Gaming there, so that was really well executed. Unfortunately for TyL, they just had no response for that. I think that was a really fantastic round from Relentless Gaming. You can really see why they dominated in their last game. I mean, they're a little bit disrupted in that in one round. But so far, I mean, they won 3 rounds, lost 1, and won 3. So I think we see a little bit of pattern here. But I don't think that's going to change with TyL's current gun lineup.
I mean, they could get something started. You can already see them trying to go for a little bit of the aggression. Rain there into A main, seeing if he can get anything started. And indeed, he does manage to find one. So it's something. For the minimal investment that they put towards this round, that is going to be something. And he's found himself an AK as well. So whether he saves that or he uses it further on in the round, it is going to be great for them. The issue is, where do they go from here? What do they do from this point on? And how are they actually going to stop Relentless finding their way into one of these sites, especially if they head towards B? I was saying it last round, but this round, it's going to be even stronger. They're up against what is essentially a pistol bind. Unless Helmer can pull off something godly here, they are going to be in big trouble, and he does manage to find one, but it's not going to be any more than that. Instead, it's going to be Rain coming through with the AK, doing that damage to start things off, and he's going to continue to look, seeing if he can spot Draveri on the aggressive there. Not going to manage to find him before he can pick up a frag, but if Draveri continues to look in the wrong spot, Rain does definitely have a chance. Either way, it's going to be him and Geo just making sure this bomb doesn't go down and looking strong to win this round. And I was with you at the beginning of that round. I didn't think it looked like we were going to see TyL pick it up by any stretch of the imagination. They started with what? P250s, P2000s, no armor, CZ, just nothing.
That was...
And the measured aggression they put into place just manages to pay off, and it manages to find them around they should have never had, and it manages as well to facilitate a much stronger buy into this one, and you can already see that coming into effect. It's the first gun round where we're seeing them actually have essentially a full utility lineup. They've got kits on 3 of their players, they've got the AWP back on Rain, and they might just be in a position to finally start something off here, especially if Helmer can get one and get out, but he doesn't manage to. Finds himself first, traded on instantly. That is not a fun way to start things off.
Yeah, not the best way to start things off there. Not quite being able to run away there. Did the sort of trade off, but unfortunately as CTs, that's not what you want to do. You ideally want to be able to take at least 2 players for your death. Ideally, not die at all, but either way. So we're going to see a little bit of a fake here come out onto B, I think, and I think they're going to be sort of approaching towards A. I think we might see a smoke coming out as well. I mean, the bomb's going quite sort of already sort of aggressive towards sort of teammate already, whilst he sort of waits for his teammates to sort of line up and push. And, I mean, the CTs are spread out quite nicely. I mean, 2 on each site, and we do see Umpre here, Knight at the back of sort of Ivy here. And as the smokes are going to be rolling, it's going to be down to Numdrakes to trying to hold them off with the AWP. Quite a close angle. Oh, sorry, no, that's the M4, my bad. So he's actually going to be perfect angle. Takes out 1 player, that is Delby down, and the second one as well, whilst Umpre does pick up a kill. My God, in a 1v4 situation, finds the kill through the smoke. What was that? Second one as well, incredible shooting there. 1-2, he has taken them down. Can he do this? That's the question. I mean, we haven't seen too much open coming out from him, but so far I am pretty impressed. His first steps are giving away his positions here, I guess. So close, unfortunately for him. Rain was just sitting right above him. Even though there are only 10 seconds left on the board, I still think he would have had a chance if he'd noticed Rain up there.
That would have been definitely something that could have got done. Very, very unfortunate indeed, but again, not too impactful in the grand scheme of things. Relentless still have the money to field a buy. Obviously, they put that emphasis on building their economy up in the early game. As you were pointing out, they had a little bit of a pattern there at the beginning of 3, and then a loss, 3, and then a loss. But, you know, when you're getting the bomb plants down, when you're picking up rounds with 4 or 5 people left alive, those 3 rounds are going to be doing a huge amount to build up the money you have to spend. And even with 2 losses on the board in a row now, they can still get an AWP, they can still get the AKs, they can still get full armor, full nades, whatever they want to be using. and they're still going to be a huge threat. It's TyL.CSGO essentially in a marathon at the moment to try and find some way of beating them down, you know, of taking them to that level where they can start to win, and it's going to be that constant pressure that if we lose a round, our economy's not established. Obviously theirs isn't either, but if they get back into it here, they're going to be in a perfect position, and they are going to be using those A smokes you were talking about earlier. Getting them down for an easy bomb plant and seeing what they can do, but unfortunately for them, 3 players have dropped in but a second, and Draveri going to be going down as well. That's all players now gone. So unfortunate for Relentless, as it looked like it might have been a round where they could have got something in the bag. But it's going to be another on the board for TyL and another step closer to taking their economy to the ground. At the same time, a bomb plant comes through and it's going to be Relentless again, sitting around, what, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000.
Yeah, doesn't seem like my advice in work there, doing the smokes down towards a site. And Helmer doing his work. I think he actually managed to get 3 kills that round with the M4A4. Very massive for his team. And we're going to see a full buy coming out from Relentless Gaming. Michael's with only the deagle, but he did very good with the AWP. Is his aim going to be on point with the deagle? That is the question. Is his other AWP his deagle? And we are going to see a little high presence up towards the shower room here and above Pop Dog. Sort of waiting for any sort of aggressive pushes here, trying to get some early picks if anyone tries to push. That doesn't seem to be happening, and Michael says he's going to be trying potentially to distract any players over towards Ivy here. Sort of doing almost equal damage to Unpray there, as they sort of trade grenades, but unfortunately not enough. And we're going to see the push slowly but surely over towards B site.
Yeah, and again, it's probably one of the smart things to do when you don't necessarily have everything on the board. It's, I'd say, probably 7 times out of 10 going to be a bomb plant for you, especially if they're playing the setup they are at the moment. The issue is going to come in the fact they didn't push soon enough if they do decide to head down there now, though, because whilst a minute ago it was just Helmer ready for them, now it's going to be Numb as well. He's now set his AK up, watching upper, ready for any sort of push that's going to be coming in, and, well, if we see Kaputka, Mixuso and Kala try and get something started, then I reckon they're going to be finding themselves in a little bit of trouble at the moment, though. You know, they're taking it slow. These guys never seem to be too bothered. Finally, the push comes out, and it's only going to be 3 of them there. The bomb is ready, so they are going to be going for that plant, and they managed to find both players in a matter of seconds as well. This is worrying. If they shut that down early on, that was going to be perfect, but at the moment, what it means is that the CT focus is going to be on finding that retake. Meanwhile, they're going to have people coming in from behind.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on that. It's just going to be so detrimental for them, especially with Kayla coming up behind them, but no, it doesn't matter. Rain finds the kill on a 1v2 situation. Is all down to Michaels with that deagle, and he's going to be lined up perfectly, but doesn't find the kill. Might be able to pull off this flash hit, and he does pick up an AK, finds the kill onto Geo. Is he going to be able to pull off this clutch this time? And it's against Rain once again. Is Rain going to be able to find the kill? Pulling out that flash. He's going to go for the defuse, but unfortunately, Michaels is not falling for it because he knows not all pros fake, as it were. So, I think that's a really good clutch and really good round for Relentless to bring it back and not allowing TyL to run away with the rounds too fast. And so they are going to be able to go into a full buy in both teams. Pretty comfortable in their buys. I mean, Unpre is sort of quite low on utility side. Nonetheless, still got a rifle, got armor, and also the skill to sort of use it as well.
In that last round, still surprised me. I think Michael's an absolutely insane player. Probably one of the calmest players I've seen in a long time. The fact that he took that deagle all the way through IV and onto the B site, around the back, through CT spawn. Didn't make a noise and waited until he was in the perfect position. And this round, going to be aggressing Ivy again and finding himself one early on. That's Rain going down to start things off. And Relentless once again finding that characteristic advantage, which so far, when we've seen them play with it, has led to round wins on the board. And I mean, they're not letting people get close to them either. You see there, Nico's about to get pushed. Chucks down a Molotov, stands his ground, doesn't lose anything. And it is just going to be a 5 versus 4 with all the time in the world to set up. Test your limits are afraid to test the limits of Relentless's setup, to get aggressive, to get in their face. Because I think they realize if they try and do that, they're probably going to be running into some very serious issues. So you can see how comfortable Relentless are. They're sat there setting their smokes up. There's no real worry, and it is going to be the smokes onto the A site once again.
Yeah, so they're going to be trying their luck on this. Again, I mean, they've got the advantage. Rain is down. They're going to be entering in. I mean, Capital taking Rala is taken down quite low, but they are going to find that entry kill there as Driver is going to be pushing up and going to be able to find the kill as well. So they've got a big advantage here. As Helmet's going to be trying to push him through, but unfortunately Micah's does find the jump over there and finds the head on him. And Camputica find the final kill on Free. Unfortunately for him, his rifle just didn't make any difference. So their economy is in shatters now, bro. They really don't have much to play with, and we're going into round 13 here. Do they need to go for full eco and then try and buy for next round? Do they buy next round, or do they then wait to have a sort of even better economy the round after? I mean, how would you play if they don't do any damage this round?
I mean, how would I play? Badly. I think that's the only answer I can give truthfully, but I don't know, if I'm them and they manage to maybe find a couple of frags in this round, even if they don't, they've saved into the next. If they have the money to get a decent buy-off out, then fair play, go for it. It might leave you vulnerable in the 15th, but again, it's that risk versus reward. It's the fact that even if you don't manage to pick it up, potentially that was going to be the same situation in the 15th round. If they can get the nades, if they can get everything they're going to want to work with, then it is just that little bit of a ballsy play where you manage to get it up in the next round. Yes, if you lose, you're in trouble, but if you win, then you've got the buy. You know, you potentially weaken their buy even, and you can maybe even get 2 rounds on the board off the back of it, and it does seem like they want to be going for that, and now I'm just interested to see what they're going to be able to buy, because right now they're lacking one key piece of equipment, Tom. Obviously, there's not been too many plants yet, so it's not been that much of an issue, but say we see Relentless go for some sort of strat that's just going to be getting that bomb down on site. Test Limits don't have a single kit on the board, and the retake is going to be extremely strenuous, whether that's going to be in terms of losing players or just not managing it at all. It's going to leave them in a bad position into the next round.
Yeah, Pasha would not be happy, and they do get the first kill, but it does get traded out. Rain is still alive, Lane finds his second kill going into this round. They have the advantage here. I mean, taking down the third player as well. This is quickly going into their advantage, and bomb hasn't been found, but it is over towards Long, and we're going to see Unpre in a perfect position to the side of the fight's first kill, but not quite the second one. 1v3 situation, 9 HP on the board. It uses his utility, but no time left as Geo pushes around the corner and takes him out.
And that's a lucky break there for Test Limits. Had they lost one more player, they'd be in, I'd say, dire straits for this round. You really don't want to have 2 players leaving alive instead of 3 when you don't have a huge amount of money on the board, but obviously they get out with 3 players alive. They have the money to invest into this round, and it is going to be that situation where there's the potential off the back of buying riskily in round 14 to find yourself round 15 as well and leave it at a 9-6 instead of what would have been a guaranteed 10-5 at the best. So things are looking up, and it does look like that 9-6 is definitely a possibility at the moment as we see 2 frags coming in early. Rain and Helmer doing massive damage in the B-holes, and Helmer actually going to be continuing the aggression towards Kaputica at the moment, who's just waiting up there to see what happens. Follows the flash through, but it's actually going to be on the other side of the map where we see the action at this point. Micros does something. Kaputica going to be coming back in, seeing what can be done towards B, and it's just a split offensive. That's the worrying thing about that setup. They're trying to push 2 places at once with 1 player at each, and when Test Limits have the sort of firepower advantage, the man advantage that they had at that point, it's never going to work. They get shut down. We see the last man drop, and just like that, it is a 9-6 half. It is Test Limits finding 6 rounds on their CT half, which arguably is more than they should have got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it was, if we have a look at the rounds there, I think it was the first round they actually won, or maybe it was the second round, which then broke the cycle, was actually a pistol round for them, like a little bit of a force, which we didn't really fully expect, but it was very well done for them, and that really did help them come into this next half with 6 rounds, and then they need as many rounds as possible. But I'm actually quite intrigued to see how they do as an attacking force opposed to the defensive force on the train, because I do know teams sort of obviously have their favourite side. So I mean, it's TyL's favourite side, the T side. Are they going to be able to rush into this, do all the quick smokes, or are they just going to rush in there and be able to get all the shots on point? And we've seen some pretty good sort of aggressive plays from the CT side from them. Not too many, but enough to suggest that they might be able to be quite good on the T side.
I'd say, if anything, I'm expecting to see Relentless get a little bit aggressive with their CT side. Test Limits tried it, obviously, and it was the thing that led to them finding that initial round that broke the cycle, as you were speaking of. The one where they potentially shouldn't have won whatsoever with the pistols they had. But past that, they really didn't seem to enjoy getting aggressive, right up until sort of that last round there, where we saw them go for something a little bit braver. They were playing quite a passive style. It seemed that whenever they aggressed, they did get shut down. They did get essentially pushed back towards where they had come from and had to play an insular style towards the sites, and that's where you saw rounds slip. It was rounds where they were just sort of playing far too far back, but out of necessity, they didn't have their angles covered off. They weren't watching necessarily every entrance into the site. Instead, you pointed it out earlier, they had one man watching both Ivy and T main. Things like that sort of left them a little bit open, and Relentless, I don't know. I feel especially after that T side, especially after how strong they looked through parts of that, might have the confidence to take things a little bit further here, to get a little bit more aggressive, to push the envelope, and, well, try and test TYL a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's all about pushing limits, as it were. Should realise that was a little bit awkward. We haven't seen any buys out come out. I mean, obviously a little bit of pause going on here. I think it might be a bit of a technical issue. It hasn't been confirmed. Either way, if it is a tactical, it's pretty sort of weird timing to do it. But just refocusing their minds would be a good timing as well. So we're going to see sort of 2 sets of armor come out on the CT side on Relentless, already sort of going up towards that. I hope we do see one player with at least some utility on the CT side and on the sort of TYL. But I imagine we might end up seeing 2 sets of utility on TYLs, potentially for maybe like a fake and then a full-on sort of push as well after they use their second set of smokes. Well, smoke rather. And the real question is, when is it going to be starting? We are trying to get the information across to you guys very shortly so we can know what is going on. And Relentless, they did 16-0 last game. They're not going to be able to pull this off now. Are they going to be able to pull off a 16-6? I don't know. I haven't seen their CT side yet. And we are going to see the unpause come in there, Brod. If you're still with us.
Yeah.
So both sides have unpaused, and we're going to be seeing the buys come out now. 3 sets of armor on the CT side so far. Actually, 2 Molotovs. So I think they'll be going for a B take here. Get the bomb down, hold from upper, and just chuck the Molotovs down as much as they can. And unfortunately, Relentless Gaming don't actually have any utilities to sort of go against us. I mean, a grenade, that's not going to help cover up a flame when it goes down on the bomb. So hopefully they can defend against this B push and stop the bomb from going down. So imagine we'll probably see about 3 players go down, 2 of the Molotov players, Rain and Geo, hop up and just stay there. And the first kill is going to be coming out from Relentless Gaming side. So the question is, can they actually get onto the B side? It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to, as Michaels comes in with a beautiful headshot there. Not quite finding the next one. Rain falling as well. They're not going to get anywhere close to the bomb site, so Molotov play is not going to be coming out. Geo is the last player here.
I mean, that's the aggression I was expecting to see. Draveri just straight through upper. No fear, no nothing, just pushed straight up, set himself in position before TYL were able to get there, and was ready to shut them down as they came through. That obviously gives them the chance to early rotate as well, and as you said, it leaves Geo in a very awkward position where everybody's watching his movements, and he has to find himself 5 frags if he wants any chance at the half whatsoever. The bomb's also down the B side, so he's essentially at this one now, just seeing what he can do in terms of frags, and unfortunately that's going to be nothing at all. So Relentless, despite their lack of utility, actually do manage to come out of that one with all 5 players remaining alive, with 4 sets of armor rather, sorry. Staying through into this round, and again, just an extra level of confidence, an extra layer of momentum off the back of a perfect pistol round to really do something against TYL. They didn't get the bomb plant, they didn't get anything, and you might expect to see some pistol armors coming out as a result of that. But Umpree's the only man with an armor, and he doesn't have a pistol to back it up. The rest of them are just going to be running Glocks, apart from Numb on the P250s. This should be another round where we see them just shredded with very, very few casualties on the Relentless side, and it seems like it's playing out that way.
They are going to get the bomb down though, so that's at least a plus in there. So they're going to be able to get that cash going through, so I imagine we'll probably see, what, a 4th buy coming out from them? 4th round buy? From right, so actually no, they have plenty of money, what I'm saying. So they should actually be able to like force up this round, and we are going to see that come out. Geo buying up that AK, no utility on their side, but either way, it's still going to give them a good chance. 2 smokes, flash, 3 smokes, nice. So we could see a pretty good setup coming out here from them. Plenty of utility coming out from them now as well. And we're still going to see a lot of SMGs on the side of Relentless Gaming, and they might well regret this. especially with keeping that scout. But I mean, Michaels has some really good aim on himself, and we're going to see the first casualty come out on the side of Relentless Gaming, as we're going to see the entrances, the smokes come out onto a site, but it is traded out by Drivery there onto Helmer, as now JKS does come round and finds the trade.
And it's just going to be trades back and forth. Relentless ending up on top. Rain going to be the last man for the TyL side, and he has to find something here. They put so much into this buy, and they're only up against SMG, so you'd expect him to do well. But Mixusu going to be a little bit too fast with the MP9. Does indeed shut him down, and does manage to find Relentless their 12th on the board, and their 3rd in a row on this half, leaving TyL.CSGO in another situation where they can't buy. So it's, instead of going to be a 4th round buy, it is going to be a 3rd round buy, which I respect. I mean, I didn't see that as something that they'd potentially go for, but they banked on the fact that there wouldn't be the aggression up towards Halls in B on that 2nd round and got the bomb plant out of that. It's just, can they bank on finding themselves any sort of presence towards the B site again? Because Mikos is going to be there, and he's got the M4 out, a Molotov down, and sprays to find himself two, rather. Almost looked like it was going to be a 4K spray down, but we do see a team kill that makes Susu come in to steal a couple away from him and leave Gio as the last player alive. So, again, a wonderful start to the round for Relentless. What looks like it could well be another clean round. And TyL.CSGO are just stuck with so much time on the clock, so much that could have been done, but only one player left alive without any of the means to make it happen.
Yep, no means, no life, and unfortunately they're not going to be able to do anything that round. I mean, not taking out on your players, it's just so unfortunate that team kill as well might be a little bit detrimental to their morale. We are going to see a full buy coming out here. Rain going full glass cannon here with that AWP and flash in hand. And hopefully that flash is going to help him. So we will see, guys, if they can actually pull something back here. TyL, are they going to stop this? We're going to 16-6. And they are playing across the map here. I mean, they're holding down along there as well. And Helmer, making sure no one's going to be pushing up aggressive against them. Yeah, no. Actually have 2 players here, but holding towards Ivy. So they're going for this sort of relentless gaming style where they're playing for quite slow. And unfortunately for them, they have actually let Mycos push very close up against them in that sort of upper area. And Helmer does pick up the bomb, so if they do push over here, we might see a good play come out from Mycos.
I know, I'd hope they're expecting it by this point. I'd hope they have some sort of inkling that Relentless do want to get aggressive, that they do want to be in their face, that they're not going to be showing the respect that maybe TyL.CSGO were expecting coming into this match. Because so far they've not been given a reason to. On their CT side, Relentless just looked so ridiculously strong. Even when they were playing with SMGs, they dealt with what was a TyL full buy, or at least full force buy at the time. This round, it's going to be a proper full buy. They're going to have the utility. They're going to have everything they could hope for. It's just how they're going to be using it, what they're going to manage to do, and if they're going to be able to start it off well, and they are indeed. Numb on the Mycos manages to give them that early advantage. Going to be giving them a little bit more, I don't know, morale, presence as they push towards the site. Drivery is there and doing his job to perfection. Finds 2 frags to start things off for his side and puts Relentless back into lead. SKYLLA going to be chipping in as well. Drivery, well, he's continuing to find himself frags. Finds himself a 3rd. Runs out of bullets and still manages to stay alive, causing the distraction for Umfree, giving SKYLLA the perfect timings to put himself in that position. Easy frag there to come out as the last, and it is going to be round 14 on the board for Relentless, and another round where TyL just didn't look that put together. The first frag was wonderful. The entries, though, fell short as the push out of T-Main got completely destroyed before they could do anything towards the site, and it means that we're going to be seeing something desperate from them now. We're going to be seeing 2 UMPs, lacking utility, and just a TyL.CSGO that looks like they want to do anything they can to stop this going to match point, because as soon as Relentless are there, they know that they have a long road ahead of them, and they know it's going to have to be perfect, which is something they've not been able to put down so far, but it looks like this one might just be another on the board for Relentless as they start it off once more, almost with perfection.
Yeah, Michael's there, making on quickly for his 2 failed shots. In a quick swift maneuver, he does take out 2 other players, and it's left in a 1v4 situation. Rain, I think a bit of a fan favorite there from what I've seen in chat. It's going to be interesting to see if he can actually do anything here. I mean, he has a UMP, a Molotov, and armor. He has nothing else. I don't think really the Glock really counts so much. And he's going to be pushing up against him, so he does have that for him, but I think they should really suspect something's going on here, but I can't really see any of the players expecting him here from what I can see. I mean, apart from actually Mixusu is in the perfect position, and Rain's going to be walking straight into his crosshairs here, and he does find the kill there in the end, and that is round 15 on the board for Relentless Gaming. Are they going to be able to get a clean CT side? I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the way they're holding these sides and pulling it off and cutting off any kind of push before it does. I mean, would it be nice to see Miko's like getting a bit of a cleaner shots when they sort of tried to push down ramp? I mean, it worked out in the end, but it's going to be interesting to see if anything can come out from this. It's another force buy, 2 Glils, 3 AKs, and they're going to be pushing nice and aggressive out onto T site. Unfortunately for them, it's going to be suspected. 3 of their players are already so low. It's going to be such a difficult position. I mean, one's dead. Driver does find the kill on Helmer.
GeoX is able to get it back, but it doesn't give you a huge amount of faith. So, I mean, their timings are so telegraphed at this point. Relentless know what's happening, and you can see them exploiting it to perfection. Geo, left as the last man alive, gets taken down by KyLLA, and that is going to be 16-6. But back to what I was saying, by the end of it, Relentless knew what was coming. They knew when it was coming, they knew how it was coming, because you saw round after round, they put down the perfect early Molotovs to just completely cut them off. As soon as they push out, they're losing between 50 and 80 points of health. That's just not sustainable, especially there on that last round. Potentially see that Molotov go down, and instead of going, let's go for a fast push through it, they're not going to be expecting it. Rein things in and try and play it a little bit more tactically, because they'd already seen it happen on B. They'd already seen it happen all over the map, and they knew that it was coming.
Rein things in, huh?
Oh, dear, so unintentional
either way,
from me.
whenever
you hear Tom do it, whenever you hear Tom do it, that's going to be... He's going to have thought of that 4 rounds in advance, and then he'll put it into effect. Me, it's all going to be unintentional.
That was unintentional, mate. You know.
I still remember the horse jokes, man.
Don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what it's about. Either way, going into what's this stats phase, it is actually that 16-6 that I did call out towards the beginning of the half. And Relentless Gaming, again, that really beautiful, clean second half for themselves, not dropping a single round. And I don't think they're really challenged much. I hate to say it, by TyL on the CT side for themselves. They really did hold a good defense, and that game lasted for about 35 minutes. So C, Marcos leading the charge, 20-8 on his team. That's pretty impressive. I mean, 2.5 KD for his team. Rein for the opposite team, just going positive, 18-15. The rest of his team following up. A little bit of a distance behind, Ron.
Yeah, a little bit of a distance. Let's go with that.
Try and be nice.
Yeah, I want to be nice, but it is unfortunate when you see sort of the KDR going from 1.2 down through sort of the 0.5s to the just under 0.4s, and obviously that's not what the whole game's about. Obviously you can have impact without that, but unfortunately for them they didn't. 16-6 I think says it all in this match. Relentless just looked a lot stronger on the day. They managed to pull off a wonderful T side. They didn't give up too many rounds there, and then, as you pointed out, as you predicted, their CT side was stunning.
Yeah, I'd like to mention as well, this isn't all about winning. I mean, obviously that is the main goal for the teams, but it's also about practicing, being able to sort of test your teams in this. And from what I've heard, TyL, this is definitely a little bit of a test for them. Definitely test their limits. And I mean, unfortunately for them, going up against Relentless Gaming, they didn't get an opportunity to test limits against too many teams. They have obviously managed to win 1 game so far in this series, but they are going to be knocked out and down to the lower bracket, so they are going to get a second chance. Right.
It's going to be a rematch. It's going to be a rematch, Tom. It's going to be BeerLads versus Test Your Limits again, and this one I am interested to see, because last time we saw Test Your Limits picking it up 16-4, and that was on Dust 2, so I assume we're not going to be seeing that again. I assume BeerLads are going to be a little bit wary of that map from this point forward, but if they can 16 for them on Dust 2, which is essentially the plainest map, you know, that's where tactics and years of training and working together as a team is sort of the least important. Obviously still holds some place, but the least important out of any of them. When it comes down to the pure aim, or the most sort of pure aim you can see in competitive play, they dominated BeerLads. So I don't know, depending on what the next map is, I'm expecting we're going to be seeing another one-sided game.
I think so, but might turn it around and we might see something different. So we are going to take a very short break, guys, and we should be back very shortly with this playoff or rematch.